everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a kind of a just for me and posterity kind of video. I'm probably not going to post links to this anywhere, so if you find it and watch it and like it, you can comment. It's not even meant to be a particularly to demonstrate any crafty skills. I just to let you know, this is a layout that we constructed in Layout Palooza, which is from Redefined Kreative, Christina Sorge, and she sends out a set of supplies and then runs a class where you kind of go through. She makes the project with you and you follow along with her supplies, and then you customize it later. And this was one of the projects, and it's a kind of a little fold-out book. It's a very simple design where you cut out of a 12 by 12 sheet, we cut three 4-inch strips, and the book was meant to actually have this additional strip, but I kept this out. I couldn't imagine having enough photos to fill a 6 more or 5 more on here. So I kept this specifically so I could fussy cut some of these flowers as embellishments and maybe die cut something from that side. So I had no idea what I was going to do with it, and it sat around, and I thought maybe Katie's birthday party, but the colors in the birthday party photos were so different from this beautiful palette of pink, black, white, and the aqua colors, teal color. So I kind of wondered what I was going to do, and the fact that we use this Vicky Bouton card from Color Story, or it's a tag that says the story, kind of got me thinking of the story of us kind of thing. So this is by no means comprehensive. This story of us that's going to be on here. And I just kind of picked some photos from way back early, and some a favorite one that I'm going to have in color right here, and then some others that are in black and white. And I kind of wanted representation of the relationship he had with each of the grandkids, and I wanted to make sure my son was in one of the photos, and our cats. And so like I said, it's not inclusive. And I found this, my nephew's wife posted this, and it's about loss, and I thought it would be nice for just this inside cover, so I printed it. It's kind of weepy and sad, and most of my journaling is weepy and sad, but so I'm not especially trying to tell a story here, other than maybe to someone in the family who might watch this down the road. So I'm not going to pay attention to how long it takes. It's not for any challenge. It's just I don't know, a vanity project, maybe you might call it. Let me get this. I kind of want to leave a white border around, because I think if I leave the white border of the photo paper, it's easier. For something like this, I don't want it to be too thick, so I don't want another extra layer there. This is a photo from an epic road trip we took to celebrate our 35th anniversary in 2016, and we were gone our anniversary was in August, on August 8th, and we set out August 1st and returned home on the 31st. And it was a great trip. We went to Major League Baseball games, and this one was actually at a White Sox game in Chicago, and it was Elvis night, so there was a lot of fun. And I thought that this is one of my favorite pictures of us because I like both of our smiles there, so it actually fits. And the colors are kind of compatible since he's wearing a pink shirt and I have on blue jeans. I'm gonna let that stand in for the bluish teal color. Now right here, this mat came up, and when I put it back on, I didn't line it up with where this sticker had been inserted underneath. So I thought maybe that butterfly would be cute and I could kind of cover that guy's face, but it's not exactly the right color pink. So here's where I think I'm gonna go with a fussy cut flower. Let's see how I might want that to go. I think I'm just gonna cut that one. I think I'm gonna go with this. It's a clear sticker, so it's not gonna cover my error unless I put it on white paper. And I had this little scrap of photo paper that will work. So let me fussy cut around it, and then I'll do this. And again, I didn't organize anything for efficiency here. I kind of I didn't want this to be, like I said, didn't want this to be a weepy sort of thing. We're embarking in a few weeks on a celebration of life tour back to some favorite places and to visit some favorite people. And there, I think that will work, and then maybe I can work a flower into kind of up in there. I haven't given much thought to how I'm going to embellish this. I'm expecting it not to be as embellished as I normally do things. I'm gonna place that there, kind of like that, and then I can maybe I don't want to cover the baseball mural that's behind us in the photo, so I thought maybe a flower cluster kind of right there. I can cut that one down a bit. I have some early photos of us, and then the last photo that I took of him when he was aware, and he kind of smiled a bit. I don't know if you know that smiling is difficult for Parkinson's patients, because they think they're sending, their brain is sending messages to the muscles to form a smile on the face, but the muscles don't get the message and the smile doesn't seem to happen. So in this particular photo, I actually loved that there was something of a smile there. I'm gonna cut that down a bit to make sure it gets under there and fits. Okay, there. And I may do some little small bling or something there, but it won't be much. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do was cut this little saying, and I will read it to you in a minute. I'm going to leave a small white border around it, not much of one. I have to talk with Hava and see what loss she's referring to. I'm not up on the news in that area, but it's a very heartfelt quote from W.H. Auden, and I will admit at the moment I don't know who that is, but I plan to look him up. It's a very, it says, let aeroplanes circle moaning overhead, scribbling on the sky the message, he is dead. He was my north, my south, my east and west, my working week and my Sunday rest, my noon, my midnight, my talk, my song. I thought that love would last forever. I was wrong. The stars are not wanted now. Put out everyone. Pack up the moon and dismantle the sun. Pour away the ocean and sweep up the wood. For nothing now can ever come to any good. Well, that's not exactly how I feel, and I recognize that's quite a downer, but it's absolutely 100% how I feel sometimes. And I'm going to leave this open. I'm not going to put a photo there because I kind of want that to show. Let me get rid of that. So the next, this is kind of I'm treating this as a 2-page spread, and I have photos of him and his kitties. And one of the things that makes me feel somewhat, I don't know, better, if you can feel better about any of this, is knowing that he's, or thinking, I know, that he's reunited with Iggy and Scout. And I don't have a picture of him with Poopsie. We had a Pekingese named Poopsie Q Macklefresh. I'm going to actually go hunt things down. I've got a whole treasure trove of photos that aren't digital in shoeboxes. And I have had projects, I've undertaken projects in the past to get to scrapping those, and it just was a daunting process. So now I'm going to restrict myself to just finding photos I like of him. Let's see, I don't want to use that one there. Iggy was one of our first cats. We actually had a cat before Iggy that that we lost, that who ran away. And I don't it wasn't our intent for her to get outside, but she did, and we think she must have been our story is that she was adopted by someone in the neighborhood who loved her as much as we did, but she wasn't with us long. And John had always said when we were dating, first getting to know each other, that he didn't particularly care for cats. He had had a dog as a pet as a child, and he just didn't think he was a cat or something. But I will swear to you, the cats we had were his cats. This is Iggy. Iggy was so tiny. We went to a shelter. I forget which one it was. It was one of the pet shelters that doesn't put the animals to sleep if they're not adopted. So that's a commitment that they make. And there was a pile of sleeping kittens that they had rescued from the side of the road. The mom had been killed by a car, and the babies were still nursing. Their eyes weren't open. So the woman from the shelter put them in her car, took them home, and fed them with a bottle until they were old enough to be adopted. And the day we walked in to the agency, that was the day they had brought them in. That was the first day they were adoptable. So we looked at this little pile of sleeping kittens, and all of a sudden one woke up and went leaping over all of the others to come see us. And we said, okay, that's the one. That must be the one we were meant to have, to take home and care for. So that was Iggy. And Iggy got to be so big. We had when we had a house that had a big picture window out to the backyard that was in our master bedroom. And our son, James, had been out throwing a baseball, and he hit the window and broke the window. So we had a repair guy out fixing the window. This is still bothering me. And he was up on his ladder doing some work, and Iggy woke up from his nap in another room and just kind of wandered in, and the guy fell off his ladder. He was so scared because Iggy weighed about 24 pounds and looked like a wildcat. Just, he was gentle as could be, but he didn't look he looked scary. He was huge and just a sweetheart. He was rather perplexed when we brought other kitties in the house, and about had a stroke when we brought home Poopsie, the Pekingese. But he pretty much got through it. Now this was Scout. Iggy came to us in about maybe 1983, because that's when we moved into this house. And in this photo, John was actually installing a what do I want to say? Thing that grinds your food in the sink. I'm losing the word because it's been so long since I've had one. Anyway, that was that, and Iggy decided to help him as he was doing that install. This was in 2002. They were visiting. This was Scout. Scout came into our life in 1996. And he actually moved to Europe with us, actually flew into Schiphol airport in Amsterdam because John flew to, I had already moved to Brussels, and John followed later with Scout. And the only airline that would allow Scout to ride in the cabin of the plane flew into Schiphol rather than to Brussels. So that's what we did. And this was James just, looking at Scout there. This was in our loft that we moved into. We bought the loft before we got transferred to Europe, and so it lay empty. And this was after we had returned in 2002, and they were there for Katie's first Christmas. That was the occasion there. So I have some little journaling strips that I will add later. So that's that side of the book. So now I'm going to work on this. And here I'm going to kind of go through, this is going to be just a series of photos that try to, kind of show him. Wanted to include all the kids, including Allie, and some of our fun activities with them. This photo is from when we took Allie and Allie and Ava to Chattanooga to Rock City. And John and I had grown up traveling with our families down highways, and I think every highway in the United States had signs that said "See Rock City," and there was a picture of a kind of a red birdhouse shaped sort of thing. And so John and I decided, just on a lark, let's go see Rock City. And we loved it. You hike through the rocks up Lookout Mountain, and when you get to the top, it's an amazing view. And it's both beautiful and wonderful and kind of cheesy at the same time. So that was kind of fun. So anyway, we took the girls back. We kind of liked to take them on trips. This was when Katie and Barrett were living in Kentucky, so we had Allie and Ava to take places right before school started. And let's see, I'm going to do this and then I'll cut them out. So Katie's not in that picture, neither is Barrett. So I've got this photo of John throwing the football to Barrett and his friend Solomon in the swimming pool, which was a big way that they related. And then I've got this one of Katie. Let's see, these are my little journaling strips here. Let me cut those off, and I'll keep them here. I'll cut those out with scissors, and I'll read those later as I put them on with any other embellishing that I'm gonna do. This one, it kind of depicts Katie taking a selfie as she's on the couch and she's taking a selfie looking back at John and me sitting at this very table that I'm sitting making this video. It was before the table had become my video station, and where John is sitting is where I'm sitting now. So I'm waving and you can't see me very well, and that's probably good. I think I still have my night clothes on, and you can kind of see from this photo that going down the hall, it's a giant craft room that we just happen to live in. And thankfully John was okay with that. Okay, so this one we're with the girls. This one is John with the boys, and then I'll do the one with Katie. And yes, I'm aware that I printed a border around that. That happened because you really couldn't, there wasn't much distinction here or there, so I wanted to know where to cut it. Wasn't sure where to cut it, so I'm not going to worry a whole lot about that. This is fun. It kind of shows Katie's sense of humor. She's holding the camera with one hand and holding the other hand out. It was awesome. This last photo is of John's last birthday party with us. The border is much bigger on this one, so I want to trim that down. And I possibly should do this with scissors, but I'm not famous for cutting straight with scissors, or with my trimmer for that matter. So we'll see. This was in COVID times, and so the joint birthday party that we always have in April for Katie, whose birthday is on the 12th, and John, whose birthday is on the 20th, of course, was at home, and we made our own cake, and Ava's got her beanie on because her hair was just growing back. My hair was just growing back from having shaved it in solidarity with Ava. She lost hers. So there's a lot of story in this photo. Barrett's kind of acting goofy. I'm kind of, have my arms around everyone. I don't know. I really like this photo. It's not a particularly flattering photo for anyone, but it's kind of nice. Okay, so now I'm going to do the photos that'll go on these little tags, and I'm hoping that the tags still fit in the slot. One of the things that we did was we overlapped and then cut a notch there. And in the original design, there was going to be a notch in this other one as well. So I thought on one side of the cards, and I'm going to put them kind of facing, I put them with the black and white side next to the teal side, and the reverse side kind of shows there. So on one set, I'm going to do the recent photos of us. This was the last photo of John, before he passed away. Not the last one. I think I took another, but it's the last one that he actually looked at me and smiled. And he's wearing his bright red shirt, and I love it. I have a little bit of journaling that I typed up that goes on here, but I don't know that I have any place to put it. Maybe down there on his shirt, so we'll see if I actually add that at all. And then this one of me I took just last week, I think, and I'm wearing his favorite shirt. He for his 70th birthday in 2017, we went on a short baseball road trip down to Miami for the Marlins, and then up to Tampa for the Tampa Bay Rays. And on the day of his birthday, we went to Epcot in Orlando, and he got this Mickey Mouse shirt. It's really a nice, it kind of looked pre-aged and pre-worn, sort of really soft shirt. And so I love wearing it. I'm gonna put that there. I'll cut a little bit off this side. And I know this is not the most interesting thing, watching me do all this work that I normally would do off camera. Now I'm going to turn around, and on the other side, I'm going to do these photos of us from the early days. So those are photos of us in our 70s. These are photos of us in our 30s. And I think I'll do that one on the short page. Let's see if that fits. If it hangs off a little at the bottom, that should be all right. There's such a disparity in our heights that to get his head in, if I were to make it short, I guess I could cut off the up to my collar. That would make it a little bit easier. And it's okay if I hang it off a little bit. I want to use the other one kind of full length. Okay, there. And this was taken not long after we'd started dating, and I think it was we got a coupon for a free portrait sitting, and little tiny bit of a corner showing there. And so that was why we did that. We were a new couple, but we'd known each other for a long time, and we knew it was real, and so it didn't seem odd to go have a portrait made. And there was a cute part of that sitting was, James joined us and he was dressed up in his little suit coat. This was from our wedding, and I am going to have to trim some off the bottom of that. Let's do this. I don't want to trim any off. We're holding a couple of hugging puppies that have their arms interlocked, and I had taken a business trip, and when I got back, John had bought me these puppies. He had taken care of James while I was on the trip, just one nighter to New Orleans. And so I carried the puppies. The puppies featured prominently in our wedding. I was wearing a purple dress, and so I got some purple ribbons to decorate to tie the little girl puppy's ears. So this was us in our 70s. That's us in our 30s. So these will go in here. And I'll do the journaling strips on there later. And they will fit so that only the tips show. You can't really see any of the photos. So when you look at the page, generally, like the only photo you're going to see is this one. I've thought about cutting some of those florals and kind of decorating this side of that photo, but I'll probably do that off camera. Basically, this is kind of a passion project. I think I'm going to put some florals down under here to kind of explain that butterfly a little bit better. But I'll do that. I'll do that off camera. I thank you for watching. Like I said, this was just something I wanted to do because I needed to talk through it almost and feel like there was someone else in the room in order to get through it. So there's kind of, I wanted these two pictures to be characteristic of him, showing him with the cat we had in our 30s and the cat we had up into our 60s. And then here's kind of life with the grandkids. And we were big on birthday celebrations, and that's the last one that he would, well, it's not the last one he would attend. He actually was pretty sick when my birthday came around in December. And on the day of my birthday, after being pretty delusional for a couple of days before and for the couple of days afterwards, he woke up, rolled over, gave me a kiss, and wished me happy birthday. And he was more alert and cognizant and participated, that day. He was in his wheelchair. And we did the party. We did our Christmas tree decorating on the back deck that we could roll him right out onto the deck instead of downstairs where we'd have to get him down some stairs. But this was before he was sick, before we had any inkling anything was wrong, and it was really just what was this, April? It was 10 months later, he wouldn't be with us anymore. So it's just, still can't believe it, as you can tell. So, sorry for all of this, but I know you understand. Bye. Thank you.